Greetings! David here, playing Worlds Adrift Beta. If you're unaware, this is a very open game from Bossa Studios where you gather materials to build flying ships. Using your ships, you explore the world to gain knowledge and schematics to further improve your ship, while also trying to figure out what has happened to this broken world. After approximately 65 hours of more or less successful gameplay, I received the schematics for an engine that I believe will take me to the next level in the game. And I believe so because that's what the label on the engine says. Here I'm still in the starter zone, and to get to the next zone you must manage to fly your ship through weather barriers. These barriers are of course a lot harder later in the game, but here I'd like to take you through my very first real encounter with a wind wall, the very first type of barrier you will have to break through. In this clip I have around 1 hour of gameplay where I build a ship that actually takes me through to the next zone. And at times I've chosen to speed the clip up so your parents or spouse will not have to find you bored to death in front of your computer. Now, remember that this is a beta version of the game, so everything is not spick and span, but the overall gameplay and aura of the game I can only describe as quite nifty. And also note that I'm a casual gamer and that no feelings or pride was hurt during the embarrassments in this clip. Now, let's get to it. When I started out, I knew nothing at all about anything. You have to learn a lot of small things during the game, so I'll try to share some of my knowledge and thoughts while I'm quickly building in the background. I press the tab key and go to the schematics tab to begin. I will start by building the shipyard, which is a schematic you will have from the very beginning. Using the shipyard you will design your ship. When the shipyard is built, you should place it in a good location. Try to put it in a location that is free from obstacles so you do not get entangled in anything as you take off. Next up is the assembly station. This is where you craft all the different components of the ship, like sails, engines, cannons and so on. The items you create will spawn above the assembly station, so make sure you put it on plain ground. This is a physics game after all, and if you build it on a hill, your items will simply roll away. Now let's design the ship. My latest ship design was called Water Gold, and I will continue using that same design. But first let's speed this up a bit. Here I'm making some small adjustments to the ship design. I'm aiming to build a small ship with 3 engines that can take me through the wind wall. At first I built my ships quite large, but as I found more items that I wanted to put on the ship, they simply became too heavy. It is a journey to build your ships, and yes, even mine has only just begun. Now I build the Atlas Sky Core. In addition to wood and metal, it will require an Atlas shard to make your ship fly. This first version will be able to carry a ship weighing 1000 kilograms, and that is basically the weight limit you have to work with. I've come to understand that you can upgrade it to carry more later. The different materials have different weights and strengths, and you will have to try out different combinations to suit your goals. The power generator will power your engines and will require fuel to work. If you have engines, this one is pretty much required as well. You will see that I'm placing as much as I can inside the ship, so I can build some protection around it later. My ship is made of wood, so it's not any kind of beast against cannonballs, but I'd like to pretend that it may matter. The helm is what you use to control the ship. It's quite important. Not sure about the best place for this, but I usually put it in front. Now here's the Boxpile Cranker A8. This is the engine that, according to its tooltip, provides the propulsion required to traverse wind walls and storm walls. Finding this is the reason why I'm making an attempt at the wind wall. I'm going to make 2 horizontal engines for going forward and backward, and 1 for going up and down. This is where I started to think about placing everything inside the ship for better protection, so I had to rearrange stuff. The personal reviver will let you spawn on your ship when you die. If you forget this and fall off your ship, you may spawn far away from your ship and it's pretty much lost you. And now I will build some wings. I will have 2 wings on the side and 1 tail on the back. These will make your ship turn a lot faster, although I'm not really an expert. I'm sure there's a lot to learn how to use your wings in the best way. To get some protection from mantas and cannons, I will put some panels around the ship, protecting the horizontal engines, the sky core and the power generator. I am terrible at PvP, so if someone attacks me I'll probably die anyway, but I'd like to try to at least make it a bit harder for them. The current weight of my ship is 825 kilograms or so I chose to add a barrel as well. When you die you will lose anything you carry that is not in your limited size belt, so it's always nice to have some storage on your ship. And I'm ready to take off. But first I have to register to my personal reviver. I have forgotten that before and the results were devastating. I put some fuel into the power generator and let's resume to normal speed for a while as we try to take off. Now this was a fun experience. I'm basically unable to turn my ship. I have obviously made a mistake somewhere in my construction. Once, one of my ships had a similar yet opposite behavior when it would turn to the right all the time, so I quickly suspected that I somehow put the wings wrong. Taking a closer look, it's quite clear that the left wing of my ship, the right one on the screen, is facing the wrong direction. The moving parts of the wing is supposed to face backwards. And I almost decided to stop playing here, to try another time. It was late in the evening, but then again, who needs to sleep anyway? To fix this, I have to build a new shipyard on the ground and dock my ship to it. I could attempt to go back to my previous shipyard, but this is the easiest way. After docking my ship, I will get back to design mode and I can flip the wing around. There, I fixed it. It looks so easy when I fast forward. Now, let's resume normal speed a little while to give you an idea of the actual speed of the ship. As you can see, it's a very fast-paced game. This video will likely give you a bad idea of how time-consuming everything actually is. But personally, I find the game to be soothing. There's a strange calm that settles when you play the game and an eagerness to make progress and explore. But watching this video will probably not make you feel that way, so let's make haste to the wind wall, my nemesis. When you start out in this game, you will not have access to any engines. To fly a ship using only sails is quite another experience. For a long time after I got my engines, I always included a sail as a backup on my ships. I was a bit scared to run out of fuel in the middle of nowhere. Now I always make sure I have lots and lots of fuel, and then I don't feel the same need for a sail. Another thing that I used the sails for was to use it as an anchor point to swing up on my ship. But after my swinging improved, I noticed that I did not really need the sails for that purpose. And while I'm no Spider-Man yet, I can at least handle myself well enough. To fly with engines is nice, and I can't wait to find new schematics to improve my ship beyond the wall. We're here. This is where you can start hearing the roar of the wind. Let's slow things down now. This is when you realize you have no idea what is about to come. Will the animation of me dying inside this wall be awesome? Or will it be easy to pass? Will my ship be torn apart and float away, painted red with my pixels? Will I make it through without losing sense of what is up and down? Will it hurt? Will it be fast? Will there ever be another sequel to Octodad? So many questions. Now, let's ride this storm out together. It is a bit tricky to keep the ship steady, and the nose of the ship seemed to point downward a lot, no matter how I tried to avoid it. If that would happen more often, it may cause trouble navigating straight, since I would lose sight of the islands in front of me. I also felt worried for my fuel. What would I do if the fuel ran out in the middle of the storm? I was tempted to let go of the helm, grab onto the ship and try to refuel it. But this was not the right time. I just wanted to make it through the wall. The winds are really pulling the ship around, and I can advise you not to try this with sails. Once I flew close to a wind wall with one of my first ships with a sail, and I could barely come close to it before the sails were torn to pieces. We survived? We survived! And, of course I have to do something silly and die after this great success. Losing all my stuff that I did not put in the barrel. That means everything I was carrying, since I didn't put anything in the barrel. Oh well. That's me.